Good evening, everyone. This is your evening news recap, your nightly news podcast on all the news that I come across throughout the day, giving you my take as somebody who aspires to be a politician in the near future. Hopefully, all you guys are doing wonderful. Hopefully, all you guys are doing well. Today is November 8th, and it is Saturday, I believe. That would be correct. It is Saturday. Hopefully, all you guys are doing well. We're recording this one a little bit early tonight because I have some plans to make some dinner and such. So I'm going to need a little bit more time, and I got a little bit of time right now. So why not? This will be an early upload, but hey, I'm sure you guys don't mind. If you're new here, though, please consider subscribing. All the support would be greatly appreciated as we are trying to hit 500 subscribers on YouTube by the end of the year. And if you're on Substack, please also consider subscribing as well. All funds go to me. I'm prepared for the things that I need to pay for in college, like my groceries, like clothing, like all of that. But if not, you can always subscribe for free. I truly do appreciate all forms of support on this content. And with that being said, let's get into the news from today. Moving on into the Trump administration segment as we do, the first topic we have today is Trump and his administration is getting rid of the free tax filing that the IRS provides. The Trump administration has stopped IRS direct files, leaving Americans with fewer free options to do their taxes going forward. Direct File, which was launched under the Biden administration, was made to simplify the tax process for Americans and to help save Americans money. Due to this, Americans will now end up spending more time and more money when it comes to filing their taxes during the tax season. Nobody wants to pay taxes. I mean, let's be real, they suck, but they are essential to helping keep not only the government running, but along with so many other things in your day-to-day lives, the roads, the policemen, so many things like that. Tax dollars help to pay for. This does not help that at all. This is going to make paying your taxes a lot harder. It really is. Not only that, but it is going to make it a lot less efficient, and it'll provide a lot less things for you to, be able to save money on, which is a big deal right now. The program was created to help Americans and to make things easier. Yet once again, this administration is preying on something that is actually useful, which is a massive problem. Americans should get all the assistance that they can when it comes to paying taxes. I mean, they don't even teach you how to do taxes in high school. I am, telling that to you right now. They don't teach you how to do that in high school. As someone who just got out of high school like less than a year ago, they don't teach you how to do that, and it's a massive problem. If they're not going to teach you how to do that, they should at least provide assistance to you when it comes to you paying taxes. In other news, Trump has proposed a 50-year mortgage plan. Trump is now proposing a 50-year mortgage. He posted an image on Truth Social suggesting that he would propose the new idea. The image displayed Trump and President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Hello, kitty. Don't do that. He just stood on my computer. Okay. The image displayed Trump and President Franklin Delano Roosevelt with the titles 30-year mortgage, which was something that Roosevelt created, and 50-year mortgage, something Trump plans to create himself. A response was made by FHFA Director Bill Holt, however you say that, saying, "Thanks to President Trump, we are indeed working on the 50-year mortgage, a complete game changer." This would be a very rare chance that you're even able to get approved for a mortgage. But, at 20 years old, let's say on average, you would be paying for that until you're 70. On top of, companies buying up all the homes and jacking up all the rates throughout the country, at this point, most young Americans are not going to be able to buy a home, even if that's the case. Not to mention, prices are going through the roof. The average home price across the US is $500,000. In California, it's almost $1 million. The average yearly income for a 20-year-old in California is $40K a year. It's the same price for that's the same average income for a 20-year-old throughout the United States. Meaning people in California likely are not going to be able to buy a home. I mean, if your average income at 20 years old is $40K a year, and the average home price in California is, $80,000 a year, I believe is what it said, it's just not going to happen. It's going to take you a lot of time to save up that money. And then you ask, what about other states? If the average income is $40K a year across the United States of America, and the average home price is about $500,000, that would be more than 10 times 10 times the amount of your yearly wage needed to buy a home. And that's just really not going to happen. And sure, a mortgage is a loan that will, help you slowly pay that off in increments and you'll eventually be able to own that home. But a 50-year one is insane because not only will you be paying for that for the rest of your life, but even a 20-year-old probably isn't going to have the greatest credit or great enough credit to be able to buy a home. You know, truthfully, that's just the case. And I don't know how they expect anyone to buy a home with the way that the whole housing rates are going up in this country. I mean, I don't even expect myself to be able to afford a home anytime soon. You know, how do they expect anyone to do that? Truthfully, when it comes down to it, it's just not going to happen. In other news, Trump has slept through an Oval Office meeting. Dozy has made his return as pictures have been released of Trump passed out during an Oval Office meeting. Clips from the live broadcast press conference with Dr. Menfit Oz, where they discussed people going to sleep as Trump was filmed asleep. Trump's cabinet claims this is because Trump barely gets any sleep at all, and they don't even know when he sleeps. But I am sure someone at his age is definitely sleeping. Let's be real. Sleepy Joe and Dozy Don, the oldest presidents of all time, are prime examples of why we need age limits in this country. Nobody this old should be in office, not to mention the amount of documented stress you get when it comes to being the president. Someone this old just should not be president. I mean, the man was born before there were all 50 states, which is insane. A majority of this country has been born after all 50 states were, inducted into the country. That's not the case for Trump. He should not be president. Like, that man is older than shit. No one that old should be in president or politics for that matter at all. In other news, Trump wants the Commanders to name their new stadium after him. Trump is pressuring the Washington Commanders to name their new stadium after him, according to The Guardian. Trump is reportedly having discussions with the ownership and leaning on the bodies that would approve this project to get his way. Caroline Levitt said in a statement, "That would be a beautiful name," and as President Trump who made the rebuilding of the new stadium possible. The Commanders have not commented on the situation, but they are currently actively preparing for Trump to attend their game against the Detroit Lions this weekend. Holy ego, truthfully. I mean, whatever happened to keeping politics out of sports? Didn't we, kill Colin Kaepernick's career because of that? This is nothing more than a man using his power to boost his ego. At the end of the day, it really is. Like, he is using his power to boost his ego. He does not need his name on a football stadium at all. He doesn't. There is no reason for Trump to have his name on a football stadium. Anyways, moving on into our final topic for tonight, the Supreme Court has put a pause on all SNAP benefits going forward. Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson has halted the order requiring Trump to pay SNAP benefits for November in full. The ruling has paused payments until the U.S. Court of Appeals for the First Circuit can decide on the administration's move to block this order. Jackson wrote in her ruling, "Given the First Circuit Court's representations, an administrative stay is required to facilitate the First Circuit's expedited resolution on the pending stay in motion." From what I found doing research on this means that many people who have not received their SNAP benefits already will not get their SNAP benefits, which is a big deal. People need food. They need these benefits to eat, and especially during the holiday season. This also puts a strain on things like food banks and so many other things throughout the United States. So if you have the funds or if you have the time, please reach out to your local food bank and offer your assistance in any way possible, because many people will still need it. They are not going to get the benefits they need because the Supreme Court is now working with the Trump administration to block that, which should not be the case. With that being said, though, thank you everyone for watching today's episode. I hope you all enjoyed. It has definitely been a very interesting day in the news world, so thank you all for watching. If you're new here, though, please consider subscribing. All the support would be greatly appreciated as we are trying to hit 500 subscribers on YouTube by the end of the year. I believe we can do it without a doubt. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing. And if you're on Substack, please also consider subscribing as well. All funds go to me. Help me pay for the things that I need to pay for in college, like my groceries, like clothing, like all of that. But if not, you can always subscribe for free. I truly do appreciate all forms of support on this content. That being said, thank you everyone for watching this episode, and I will see you all